welcome to the Nexus Roundup. So what's been happening this week? Quite a lot really. So if you've not noticed, and you've probably been living under a rock, you probably won't notice that Ecto-1 went under. And since then we've been sort of twiddling our thumbs. We've already got the Eleanor and the Back to the Future DeLorean back up and running. But what happened this week? Yep, this week the Ecto-1 and the Enterprise D went live, so you can now start those collections right from the beginning, or you can pick up where you left off. There's a few teething problems along the way, I think there's going to be, but all has been explained on the Facebook pages. So yeah, you can now start there. I'm really excited to get the Enterprise back up and running. I've already paid the first amount. I've just got to sit back and wait for that to materialise. I'm starting from issue 8. So each issue comes with 4 stages, so I'm all happy with that. But yeah, it's been a long time coming. I know some people are only 2 issues away from completing Ecto-1. So they'll be complete if everything goes according to plan. They should receive their last issue in September time, and then we'll have a lot of Ecto-1s finished. In regards to my Ecto-1, it's still on hiatus. I'm still 50-50 whether I'm going to pick it up again, because it's now on Fan Home, and they don't tend to get rid of a lot of their collections. There's a possibility of me starting it in the future, so I may still finish it. I still want to finish my Iron Man as well, because there's the head for it, and I've got the arm somewhere as well. There's some of the arm and foot down here, so there's still parts of it lying around, so I've still got parts. I at some point like to pick that back up, but at the moment it's a bit on a hiatus, and there was reasons why I stopped doing that, and I don't really want to get into that because it's boring. But anyway, so I'd like to do that. Ecto-1, I've still got it there, so there's a possibility of me still picking it up at some point, but I still don't know if I'm going to or not. I'm sort of on the fence about that. I still have the parts here, so I might do that in the future. I might even still pick it up going forward, but I don't really know what I'm going to do with that yet. It's also trying to find some space, because as you can see, it's quite a lot of stuff all the way along there. So it's all about space at the minute, and I've probably got space for it, but it sort of is what it is. Also as well, pack 2 of Optimus Prime has been paid for, so that should be here sometime not next week, the week after. So yeah, and that consists of 4 parts, 4 issues, that pack. So there'll be a lot on the channel, though I do believe it's only going to be the foot. So all the parts, it looks like what we're doing is the same which was with Robocop and Iron Man, is that we're going to start probably building like the foot, like the legs or the arms or something like that, but it looks like we're doing the foot, so we're probably going to build the foot up, and then the other foot, then the arms, and then the chest. It just seems like the way that they're going with a lot of the sort of figurine models that they're doing now, where they sort of do one arm, another arm, a leg, or a leg. They don't tend to go up and down. Though they did do that with the Alien. We did one arm, and then I think we done one leg, then one arm, then the other leg. I think that happened with Terminator as well. And speaking of the Terminator, it's just been released in Japan, and it's also going to be on a re-release over in France. So some people have asked me whether or not it will be released over here. I don't know. I don't know that. We do normally have a trend over here where it gets released in France, and then normally within sort of 12 months it's normally here. It's not available at the moment through Agora Models, but I would imagine if there is a re-release, it will probably be in conjunction with Agora, a bit like the Alien build. I would imagine that it probably won't come out like it did before in a sort of like a standard subscription. My understanding is it would probably come out in the sort of style as the Alien build, so you'll probably get 8 issues in one pack sort of thing, and it'll be done over 12 months, and then they'll probably release the whole build. But at this time, I don't know, but it is being re-released over in France. Also as well, I have got some actually. I thought I didn't have any, but I have got some. The helmet collection, I think it's still available on Fan Home, but it's getting a re-release over in France at the minute through the Agostini. So it looks like there's a lot of re-releases coming out at the moment. It sort of makes sense in that it's an easy sort of. I think going forward we're probably going to see a lot more re-releases, or a lot more companies holding on to their subscriptions. Normally, what would have happened is they normally do an initial run and then they get rid of it. Hachette are normally sort of famous for that. Really, sort of as soon as the collection comes out, as soon as it's finished its main run, they sort of get rid of it straight away. But now what we're seeing is we're seeing a lot of stuff getting re-released, or not just going out of stock at all, just being available all the time. It's a good business practice for them. It's good for us because it means that we can pick up stuff that we maybe missed out on. It's good for them as well because it means that they're not paying out a lot of money for tooling or moulding and all that sort of stuff, because that's already done. So it's a better prospect for them because they're going to be making more money from something that they've already made, because they don't have to buy the tooling, because the licensing and all that, that's fairly cheap. The money that all these part works and models and all that, it's the tooling and the moulding to make the moulds and the tools to build these things, which is what costs a lot of money. So if you have something that's already been moulded and made before, you've already paid for that sort of thing, so you don't have to pay to get it redone. So it's a bit of a cheap way of doing it, but it does give us a bit of a way of maybe getting a collection that we've missed out on. So it's good for us. But I do think that going forward, we're probably going to see a lot more re-release stuff. We are going to get new stuff, obviously, but I think more of the re-release stuff we're probably going to get a lot quicker. And I think a lot of the companies will probably start just bringing out a collection and then just always having it, sort of thing. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to have. But there's this seemed to be this sort of trend now of re-releasing a lot of stuff. IXO are doing the same thing as well. They're re-releasing a lot of stuff. They're also bringing out some new stuff as well. Also as well, there was a teaser last week of the Agora DB5. Check this out. So it was a little teaser, and I mean a little one, but you can see that it was a DB5, an Aston Martin. A lot of people have asked me actually, is it the same one that Eaglemoss released? I don't know. I've seen some people have said that it isn't. Some people said that it's the same. I don't know, but I do know the Eaglemoss one was released, and then there was a process where they sort of mucked up slightly. I don't know what exactly happened with it. It was a long time ago, probably before or just before I started really getting into the sort of part work stuff, and I didn't really originally build it, so I don't actually know the ins and outs, but I know lots of people didn't complete their models. They refunded the whole build for a lot of the model to people as well. So I know some people that got up to, it was 100 issues. I know some people got up to like issue 90 and then were refunded for the whole model. I know Eaglemoss pulled it as well, so I know it was released. I know some people actually completed it, and I know a lot of people never completed it but got a lot of refunds. So maybe that was sort of why they didn't really bring it out again. But I don't know this one. Someone said this one's a slightly different version than that, and hang on, sorry about the camera, it's just moving around. This one's a slightly different version than the Eaglemoss one. I don't know. I don't know whether it's been slightly retooled or not. It does make sense that they would use the same molds and stuff from Eagle Moss, because the 1/8 scale that they've done, sort of the parts are already there. Maybe they can retool it slightly to hang on a sec, I don't know why I'm not centering. Is that better? Sort of retooling it, and yeah. So I don't know, but I know that the Eagle Moss one came with a lot of things, like machine guns behind the headlights. It had the rotating number plate. It had the bulletproof shield that came up. I even think it had the ejection seat as well. But like I said, I know that there was something happening with that build. I'm not entirely sure, but like I do know that people got refunded for the whole build, and I also know people finished the whole build as well. It also had other gimmicks on it as well. I think one of them was like I said, the ejection seat. It also had spikes that came out of the wheels, but I'm not too sure if they came out or whether they were sort of clipped on, so you could have it so the wheels extended. But I don't know if it's going to be the same one or not. I don't know. It might be. It might be a sort of a retool of that one. Sort of makes business sense if they use, like I said, if they use the molds they already got. It already sort of makes sort of sense to use that, doesn't it? Because it means that they're going to be paying out less money to get the whole car tooled. But we do know there's other ones coming out from the 007 one, but I think that's their first one. I would imagine it's due for, now they've done that teaser video, I would imagine that it's due for release imminently, because they tend to do these sort of tester videos and then like a month or two later they then release it. So I would imagine it's very close to being released. It's a no from me. I'm not a James Bond fan, as you probably tell. And there's other builds that I'm doing now, and yeah, I just want to sort of chillax a little bit, sort of chill out a little bit on the partwork side of things, because I'm doing quite a lot already. Though I'm now working with Fan Home, I'll probably be going helping with them as well, and they've got some plans in place. I know that there's a lot coming out as well from Hachette as well. So all this year, by the way, still lots to come out all this year. I mean, we're sort of 7 months into the year already, and there's lots, and I mean lots still to come, and a lot of information still to come as well. So make sure you keep it the Nexus. But yeah, there's going to be still loads and loads of bits coming out. Also as well, the Disney Dollhouse. Now, Disney Dollhouse is coming on really nicely. We're now on the 2nd floor, and this is what our Disney Dollhouse looks like. So as you can see, we're now starting on the 2nd floor, the Peter Pan room. And yeah, it's going really, really well. I'm really liking it. More than I thought I would. But it's really going really well. I've already said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm not doing the extension. The extension is the summer and winter sort of thing. So I think it's like they're both sort of, it's a summer camper van-y thing, and the other one's like a calf thing, a winter thing. And there's more stuff for the house as well to turn it into sort of a Christmas style as well. But it's an extra 80 issues, so we've sort of said no, we can do stuff like that. I've now got if you haven't seen my video, I've now got a beautiful 3D printer, and I'm going to be printing out some stuff for the house anyway. So keep an eye on the channel for that, because I'll be printing off some stuff, painting it up, and then putting it on the house. So you want to keep an eye on that. I'm also going to do a video on stuff that I've been 3D printing this week. So that first video will probably come out next week, because I've built quite a few bits, but stuff is still sprinting. I want to make sure I've got enough content to show you what I've been doing over the week. This week it's been a bit on and off because I've been busy with work and stuff like that. So it's just sort of getting that sorted really. I've also as well, Dodge Charger. So I want to get on the Batman side and the Dodge Charger, because there's a lot of people that were complaining about the amount that we get. And obviously I poked fun at that as well, because it's sort of the norm now with a lot of the part works. So it's taken 4 issues to complete one chair. And next week I get the last bit for that chair, because subscribers are up to issue 22. I get from the newsagent, so I pick up issue 22 this week. And then the next 4 issues, I'm almost certain, is going to be the pilot seat. The next 2 issues for subscribers after that, I'm not entirely... they're not too sure. I would imagine that we're still working on the cockpit. So it's either going to be the side sections that go on. It could be the back bulkhead. Or it could be the centre column that we start on next. I would imagine it's the centre column that we're going to start on next. But yeah, were people saying that you know, they're a bit disappointed with the amount of parts that we get in. It's been a bit sort of slow. I'm almost certain that we are going to get some really big pieces, though we'll probably only get 1 or 2 of these bigger pieces. There are some really big pieces coming, because the armoured section of it and the top section and all of that, the armoured pieces for the wheels, I would imagine are going to be a single piece. So those pieces are going to be quite big. Though we probably only get 1 in 1 issue. It's the way that part works are at the minute. But I wanted to bring it up because lots of people were asking about it. But it's taken 5 issues to put a door on the Dodge Charger. So that includes building it and actually attaching it. 5 issues. And the Dodge Charger, our Dodge Charger, at the moment, looks like this. So as you can see, the doors are on and stuff like that. But yeah, the next issue for that is we actually attach the door. I've got the door off to the side there, as you've seen. But that one door took 4 issues to build, the same as the other one. So you know, in terms of sort of drip feeding, they do it with every build now. It's the sort of the norm. We extend it, we get drip fed. It's just the way it is. So it's sort of, I'm used to it now. So I'm not entirely surprised when they come out with issues like this going forward. So it is what it is. But I'm really, really happy with that. Getting on to the fan home section. So obviously I'm building the Knight Rider at the moment with fan home. And I appreciate all the support that I get from you guys from building it, because it was not one that I was originally going to do. Now I'm doing it. I'm absolutely loving the build. It's really good. I never said I said I'd never do another car again. But you know, it is what it is. And Fan Home sent me it, and like I said, I'm absolutely loving it. I just got pack 5 that should be on this coming week. But this is what it looks like, because I've completed pack 5. I've already recorded it. But this is what the Fan Home Knight Rider looks like at this point. So it's come along really well. I think pack 6, 7 and 8, that's all going to be sort of engine and chassis, and more of the I can't say it. The chassis, that's it. More of the backs of the chassis and that, and then we're probably working a lot on the interior. What I've seen so far is really nice. It looks really, really good. I'm glad I'm sort of building it now. But like I said, it was something that I wasn't going to do. And then Fan Home said, would I work with them with this? And I said, yeah. And I'm really happy that I'm doing it. But I appreciate all the support that people have been giving me. And I didn't really realise how big the Knight Rider really was. And it's huge. And yeah, I'm loving it. I hope you guys are loving the content as well. But yeah, that's what's been really going on this week. What's been happening in, what have I been watching? Yeah, Secret Invasion. I want to bring up Secret Invasion because I think a lot of people have said, not a lot of people are watching it. It's one of those shows where you really should be watching this, because it has consequences sort of before and after this series. And I think a lot of people said it's been slow. It's it's sort of stagnant a little bit. Now remember, you've got to remember that Secret Invasion was originally going to be a movie. It was going to be a film, but they said it was going to be a bit more of a complicated story to tell over a film, so they turned it into a series. That's why we've only got 6 episodes as well. So originally, when you watch this, you have to realise that actually it was going to be a movie. So a lot of this stuff is had extended scenes added to it to make it a series. And I think if you were watching this from episode 1 to 6 all at once, you would probably say that it was a movie style sort of film. It's an espionage sort of thing as well, so it's sort of like cloaks and daggers and spies and all that sort of stuff. But it's a series really should be watching, really. And if you've followed Marvel and you know the Skrull are a sort of a really important part of Marvel. In fact, they were the main antagonist or the main villain for the Fantastic Four. But they've cropped up throughout the Marvel comics for a long time. But yeah, and it's got a Super Skrull in there as well, and stuff like that, which is good. And they've used elements from other films as well. And there's the part in there where you've got other people that are Skrull, and then you sort of go, how long have they been Skrulls for? So the films that we've been watching ain't the real people; they're part of the Skrull. So it's really interesting. You should really be watching it. But in terms of why it's important, if you know about the Skrull and you know the story, I think it goes a lot deeper. It's going to be interesting to see how it concludes, because I don't think they're going away. But like I said, they're a big part of. They're one of those villains where they're a big part of the Marvel universe, but are slightly sort of forgotten about. But they were integral with a lot of big storylines. Secret Invasion, which is this one's about, the actual comic is huge. It's I would have preferred it as a big Marvel movie, to be fair. This is probably a jumping point, and I hope they go back to it. And it'd be interesting to see where the series goes. But if they did it properly, it would have been a better. I think doing Secret Invasion would have been a better film before they did sort of the Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos and stuff like that. Just because I thought that could have prolonged it. I think they went a bit big with Thanos first, and it's probably why the MCU hasn't done well after that. A lot of the films have been quite good actually, but I think we had a lot of heavy hitters right at the start, and then we've had a lot of them sort of leave because they've been playing these characters for a long time. It's understandable. And it's sort of like a progression. Now, Marvel Comics have gone through this progression a few times. The difference is with Marvel Comics is they've always brought back characters when they've killed them off. Opening up the multiverse creates a massive amount of storylines for them, and it means they can reset some stuff. But in terms of Secret Invasion, I would have preferred it if they'd done the proper Marvel Secret Invasion. So that was where the Avengers fight the Avengers, basically. It was a great comic series, and they've done some great cartoon series as well based on the Secret Invasion as well. But tell me what you think. I prefer how they went. I think they went too big. Now they're trying to pick up the pieces. I don't think the character going forward is the right one to do it. Like Krang, I don't think they're trying to portray him as a big baddie, and he is in the Marvel universe, but I don't think on my level, I don't think he's as bad as Thanos was, and they've sort of gone back slightly. I would have preferred if they'd done Galactus, just because I think it's time now that we have him on big screen. They did do it in the Fantastic Four, but he was a cloud. Not the proper Galactus. I think they need to do a proper Galactus with his heralds as well. You know, Silver Surfer and people like that. But yeah, it is what it is. Also, as well, they've been filming Deadpool 3 not far from here. So over in Tring, which is not far from here. They, like I said, I've mentioned it before, they do a lot of filming around our area. So they've been filming Deadpool 3 in Tring at the minute, which is only up the road. It looks really, really good. They've obviously got a big cast for it. And Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have been up at this quarry, doing a lot of the fight scenes for Wolverine and that. I sometimes like seeing that sort of going on, but I also feel that the bits that we've shown and the bits that they've spoiled, like with photos and that, it kind of looks like the end of the film. It spoils it a little bit, maybe the surprise. But like I said, it is what it is. They've also, as well up the road, been filming the film Wicked as well. That's Ivanhoe Beacon. So if you don't know, I live in Hemel Hempstead, and Tring is like the next two towns over, and Ivanhoe Beacon is sort of in between there. And they've got the Munchkin village set up there to do Wicked. But obviously, nothing's going on at the moment. All the productions have sort of stopped slightly. I know some of the stuff here in the UK is sort of still going on, but I am in solidarity with the writers and the actors who are striking at the moment. I think there needs to be a good deal, and they need to be paid for the work that they do as well. And AI, I think, has come along a lot quicker than they were expecting. And obviously studios are using that to their ability, but in doing so, it means the actors get a bit of a crap deal, and I'm all for anyone striking to get a better deal from any workplace. But anyway, that's Marvel and films and stuff like that. That's what I've been doing. I haven't got any plans to go to the cinema. It's really bad because there's nothing really I want to go and see. I haven't even been to see the Indiana Jones film. That is because... because the Crystal Skull was alright. You know, it wasn't classic indie. And then I've seen some reviews where they're saying it's the best one, it's a good send off for him, and I've seen others where they've said it's the worst one that they've done, it's horrible. So there's nothing like, I'm not a massive Indiana Jones fan. I watch the films, I think they're great, but I'm not massive enough to go to the cinema to see the movie. I will just watch it once it's out on one of the streaming sites. So I think that's Disney Plus, I do believe. And then you've got Road, part 1 of Mission Impossible Rogue. I think it's Rogue Nation, isn't it? No, it's not Rogue Nation. Reckoning. Once again, I think those film series are really, really good. A bit like the John Wick ones, they're really, really good as well. But nothing sort of enough for me to plant down a lot of money to go to the cinema to watch it, so I'll watch them on the streaming. It's really bad because I'm not helping the matters of the filming in shit at the moment, but I think I have to be honest and say that's how I feel at the moment. I think with money being tight at the moment and stuff like that, I could go to the cinema, but when it comes to expense and stuff like that, I kind of look and go, you know, do I want to spend that much, or do I want to spend that much going somewhere else and doing something else? That's the reality of it, because just to put it in a bit of perspective, I can go and watch a film with the family. So I have a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old, so obviously we have to pay adult prices for our oldest daughter. So it cost over £50 to go to the cinema for a 2-hour film, or I can pay the same price and go to Whipsnade Zoo for the exact same price. You know, so what am I going to decide? You know, I would rather spend the money and go to Whipsnade Zoo than spend 2 hours at the cinema. And that's the truth of it. So if you're a big cinema chain, you watch this channel. I know you don't, but if you did, lower your prices, because as soon as you do that, you're going to fill up more of these spaces and people are going to spend more money. If it was cheaper, I would have gone, you know. But I have to weigh up certain things. And I think the cinema before was just somewhere where I always went. Now it's more of a treat. And so I have to... We look and we go, do you want to go to the cinema? And my girls are sort of like, no, just wait for it to come out. And sometimes I want to go to the cinema, but I don't want to go on my own. And so that's just the way it is. But anyway, yeah, so anyway, back to Secret Invasion, because we've gone off a little bit on the pig. But yes, it's a series. It's one of those series where it's not being watched by many people, but it's a series you need to be watching. It's just one of them series. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Once again, really good. I can't fault it. It's a proper series. A lot of people have liked the first season. The second season, they've had up and down episodes. If you've ever watched any sort of Star Trek, you'll know that throughout the series, any series, there are always ups and downs in the episodes. Everyone likes their favourite episode in the series, and I think Strange New World's no different. I love it that it's that there's a different episode each week, and that is perfect. That's what Star Trek should be. But I'm absolutely loving Strange New Worlds. Let us know if you think the same, or if you're not loving it, let me know. But anyway, that's what's been happening this week at the world of the Nexus. Coming up next week, there's going to be a lot more. There's going to be a few more different videos next week. So next week we've got some Knight Rider, obviously our normal weekly videos, but it's my birthday next week, so there's going to be some presents that I'm going to get, and no doubt I will show them on my channel next week. So I don't know what I'm getting, but if it's anything that I can show you guys, I will do. So there'll probably be a few videos, and that is it really from us here at the Nexus. Just always and anything else, like, thank you so much for supporting the channel and following on my journey. I so much appreciate it. You know, it's you guys that help keep me going through doing the channel and stuff like that, so I massively appreciate that. But yeah, that's it now. Thanks for watching this week's roundup. Let us know what you think of the show, or anything or you want to talk. Comments down below. But until then, as always, we will see you guys at the next video. Take it easy. See you later, guys.